come in and see you.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a place formerly known as the Nello James Centre. This is a place that served the community for over 30 years.
Wow.
From when I was a young boy right up until just modern days. This part here was a new prefab built onto the back of this 18th century cottage that had been here for generations. This building was bought and given to the West Indian community by a lady named Vanessa Redgrave, who was from an actor's family in London. Famous actress and actress family. Vanessa Redgrave bought this and bequeathed it to the West Indian Caribbean community for the sake of a nursery. At the time we were struggling to have nurseries to take the children while the black women went to work. So this building, the kind Vanessa Redgrave bought and gave it to the West Indian community as an asset that belonged to the community. It was bought outright and given to the community. So this 18th century building here, which was a cottage that used to be a Red Cross and had many different facilities here before it was a Nello James Centre. It served Nello James, it was a Nello James Centre for 30 years, 20 to 30 years. Me as a youngster grew up in this place, was nurtured by people like Wilberforce Johnson, Felix Daniels, and many more.
So,
you know?
I don't mean to cut you, Mega. So you used to go to this centre when you was a youth.
Absolutely, right down here, Youth Man Promotions even, this is how far back we go, had their sound in the basement here where there was a pool table, a bar, and several refreshments, table tennis, all kinds of facilities for youngsters. The problem now today is that over the years, many things happen on the building, many accusations. I'm not going to go into what they were,
Yeah.
but eventually this building here became the property of, or fell into the ownership of, or should I say the property deeds, ownership deeds fell into the hands of a couple of women from the community that didn't need money, and this building should never ever ever has been sold. We believe it's been sold now. We believe £850,000 is in the coffers of these women and whoever trustees are remaining for this building. And Vanessa Redgrave distinctly said that this building should not be sold, and if it is sold, the money from it should go into another nursery for the Moss Island human and local community to nurse the children. I don't know what's going to happen next here. We're in dispute with some of the people of the trust, the old trust, the Walton Cottage Trust, about how these funds are going to be distributed and how they're going to work for this community. If you want to come down here, brother.
So what you reckon should be done with the money they've
Well,
got
we
now?
all know that what should be done with it. The money, as Vanessa Redgrave herself, I have an email from her. I can prove that she said that this building was never to be sold, and if it was to be sold, the money has to go back into a facility for children, for education for young children, and also a food bank for anybody struggling for food in the community.
And that's what she said.
That's exactly what she said, and I will give you proof of that. It will be posted on the Moss Side Talk TV channel, so you can see it for yourself. There's no lies here, it's all real. And it's a shame because we have many beautiful times here. We played here, it was a beautiful building. As you can see, it's an 18th century cottage, been going for a long time. Plenty of land on it.
Yeah.
It's absolute prestige property, and the land that it's on is also prestige. And in these times when property developers are just looking to make millions upon millions, this is the type of land they like to acquire.
Yeah.
As you can see here, it's got vast land to the back and the front here. This used to be the nursery.
So this used to be the nursery.
Yeah, you would enter through this gate here, and this is the front door of the nursery. Now this building was very unique because it's in split levels, and it had loads of different avenues and so forth. It was a very beautiful 18th century cottage, as I said, and they were built in a certain manner back then. A beautiful building and a beautiful piece of land. Look at the size of this.
Wow.
What could we do with this? What can the community do with this amount of land? This is what we need. Yet our community leaders, so-called community leaders, and those people who this building fell into their ownership,
But
ownership,
but they could
had
have
the
developed
right
this.
to-
They could have developed this land themselves.
Absolutely.
And,
They could have done a
for the
lot with it.
community.
We actually communicated when we did the Nello James campaign, and we was campaigning to keep this building within the community to use for community facilities. Even the Manchester City Council backed us, and they said that they'd alleviate it of all debts. There was some money debts owed on the building, and they said they would wipe all of them if we had something fresh we could resurrect this building and facility with, and we did have that. But unfortunately, the campaigners, some of the people who we trusted, let us down. I will not go anywhere further. They let us down, and they know who they are. I'm naming no names. It is what it is, but we lost the building as a result of that mentality.
So the Caribbean community don't own this building anymore.
No,
right?
it was our. Look at it. This is Wally Range, brother. This is a prime land. You know, and for any developer, it's going to make multi-millions of pounds if they so develop this into apartments and houses, which I suspect they will. I mean, even this building across the road here, see that new wall there?
Yeah.
There was a dispute over that wall. You know why? The wall came into the land of Nello James. It nicked a couple of inches or a few centimetres from us.
Yeah.
There was a bit of fighting with this man here. But anyway, he'll be happy to know that there's no longer going to be no fight. But actually, I think somebody within our community actually took a couple of quid off them quietly for that little slice
right.
of the Nello James that they
Yeah.
bought. But that's another story. We'll leave that to the next time. But, yeah, that's the Nello James Centre, and it's sad that we've lost it. This could have done a lot. This is exactly what we need right now, Blacks, for this community. This would have been a very beautiful start to our campaign and what we intend to do, you know.
Yeah.
But still, hope's not lost. There's still other facilities that within the community that will help and that we hope will help.
Yeah.
We're going to visit a couple of them a little bit later.
All right then.
Maside TV Talk, live and direct, Wally Range, Nello James Centre.
All right. Nello James. Live.
Because when we was doing the campaign as well, we cleaned it all up, bro. Cleaned everything up. It was a
Fresh.
big campaign, yeah. Look now, we're dumping nappies and
People are throwing all sorts over.
brother, it was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. Look at it. It's like a fairy tale home. Look at it. The way the path turns, you know, look, there was a nice facility out here. These bricks have been here a long time, over 100 years.
Wow.
It's just sad to see that the community has lost it. Two greedy individuals have taken money on the back of our community, and they're going to make sure that money is spent back on the community.
Yeah. This was a great building though. Yeah. So this is part of the Windrush as well, or?
Yeah, this is the workshop. This is a building that before the Windrush had control of it was basically like a little job centre, a place where you could go and job search, and something that we needed from the 80s up until now. But as you can see, look, they're dormant. There's nothing going on here. Look, gates are locked up.
So what's in there?
So we beg for facilities, and the facilities are locked down.
Exactly.
It's a look, come and look at the front.
So
It's
I don't understand none of what you're
speaks for
saying.
itself.
This is not making
Helping
no
you
sense.
to find your next job. Zoom
Helping you
in.
to find this next job. What? So why is it closed?
Exactly, that's a big question that we've been asking. And as I said,
not making
when the time
sense.
comes,
Well,
we'll
look
get
at the size
all
of
of
the
these
building.
buildings working again.
Look
back
at the
in
size of
community.
the building though.
There you go. Brother, in 1981 we didn't have, never mind there, we have a facility there for finding jobs. We couldn't find any jobs then. They wouldn't give us a job. They didn't want us to have a job. Now we've got everything in our hands and we're still in the same position. And it's a crime on the community, it is. Do you know what I mean? I don't care, you know, how anybody's feeling about this. It's real what's going on here. And our children are suffering because of it. So we still feel like we're in the 80s. Did we not fight for this thing? Huh? Did Hartley not get his ass kicked by the police, you know, in the fight for liberation and for our civil liberties and rights in this community, in this world?
So all these
We fought
places.
for this and now we've got it. We're doing nothing with it. How? How come? It don't make sense.
Yeah.
People are suffering. Look at the community, it's still the same. People have just give up hope. They've lost hope. It's worse than the 80s because we've actually got facilities
And it's not been used.
and they're not available to us. It might as well be in the 80s still, begging the system for something that we're never going to get from them.
Yeah.
So, you know,
But can you believe that? I don't understand.
it's
none of
sad.
it,
Well,
though.
I understand,
it's
and
mad.
I understand the greed of man have caused this to happen. As soon as you show a man some money and he's not had money, you're going to see what he really is. You know, and we have. It's been proven now,
Yeah.
as I said. But the future is bright, brother, because we're going to make sure that these facilities will come into fruition and will serve their community as they should be serving their community. And it's the community's right to have access to these facilities, because that's what they were assembled for. Look at the governing document of this centre and you will see it was so inspiring to read it, but to see that it's not been upheld and not been implemented is a great crime against the community, which we intend to change. Stay tuned. Moss Side Talk TV, Moss Side and Hume Community Development Trust, the Windrush Centre.
Windrush Centre. Right.
Brother, I believe that you had a little idea that you was going to bring to this place about educating children
Well,
after school hours and giving them a chance in qualifying to get a better education.
Well, yeah, that was my idea. If we had the space, we could try and get a couple of teachers and try and teach the kids at least 3 times a week some private lessons, you know, so they could get an entrance test to go to the high school. So
How did you find the management when you came here to apply for a unit to do that, or an office space? How did you find it? Were they forthcoming? Did you think it was difficult? How was it? How did you find it?
it was difficult. It wasn't this difficult to say, yeah, but I didn't really know much about the place in it, so I just came to see someone about that space really, and I was told that the space was £50 an hour, so that's all I know. But this unit here, my stepson, he used to go to this school on a weekly basis. I used to drop him there and pick him up, but you used to have to pay for him to go there. Yeah, and that was a class every week. I don't know what so there was a lady that's teaching the class, so I'm not sure if that was private, because she probably rented the unit, so I'm not sure.
Do you think that, as far as education is concerned, and the idea that you had to educate local children to a standard where they could qualify for greater education, did you feel that this is the kind of place that would make things easier for you? Even when it came to the cost, this should be a facility that this place should embrace for free.
Yeah, well, that's perfect. Well, I didn't know that, innit? So I couldn't speak on that at the time. So I didn't know that. I'm just finding out now that it's been a community project. How well it is a So I didn't know that at the time. So I wasn't expecting any difference. So I was just trying to figure out to find a space. But then, saying that, if we had the space for free, that would have been a perfect opportunity in it, like to start something.
Well, we hope that we can communicate with the management soon, and this great idea what you've got, we hope we can bring this into fruition and let some children benefit from that. As I said, stay tuned. This is Moss Side Talk TV, bringing home the realness, and we're dealing with community affairs, and we're here to put right what is wrong in this community right now and try to make a better place for the youngsters and the generations to come. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back at you. Moss Side and Hume Community Development Trust, the Windrush Centre. This is the Moss Side and Hume Community Development Trust, known as the Windrush Centre, a centre that was established in 1989 that was intending to help the community out of poverty, disfranchisation and disinclusion and all of that stuff. This was a building resurrected and given to the then community leader, who had the intention to help the community out of the situation that it was in, the lack of job facilities and units to assemble business in. This place was assembled for that reason, and there's 21 units here that were supposed to be units for the local community members to start up small businesses and grow into big businesses and then make their way out of the community into the big business world. And this was supposed to be the start-up for the local people. Unfortunately, they lost the narrative along the way, and we're dealing with a very controversial situation at this moment. And it's sad that these people will not engage with us. We've tried our very best to engage with them, and it's been a very sad time for the Moss Side Hume community. I mean, this being the Moss Side and Hume Community Development Trust, we would expect more from them. But you'll be hearing from us in due course. We'll be speaking to the management here, and we intend to change things here and let this building do what it was originally assembled for, and help people within this local Moss Side and Hume community develop, which is the name of this trust, which is not developing anybody at the minute. But we will be dealing with them in due course. Moss Side Talk TV, Blacks and Ramir, live in the Windrush Centre in Moss Side and Hume District. Simpson, the positive vibrations of the community is upholding them. Probably the only one who is in this facility right here. As I said, there's a lot to be done, but this man is still doing the work, you know what I mean? Yeah. He's still inviting the positive people in the community to do music in here. We don't want this to be a studio where murder music and death mongers are coming in here. So as you can see, strictly positive vibrations in this unit. I'm probably the only one in here that is, serving the community to any extent. Sefton, respect to you, you know what I mean? I know you've been in the community a long time, doing music with the youngsters and helping people along with their mental health and that.
Absolutely, music for well-being.
I know the situation is bad here. We don't really want to say too much, but we'll be, you know what I mean, doing our bit, you know what I mean? But what do you see the future of this place? I mean, especially your place, you know?
Well, the organisation I'm working for is African and Caribbean Mental Health Services, because we know that there's a prevalence and an over-representation by black people in mental health services. So we want to make sure they're seen in a culturally appropriate way. So we've got counsellors, we've got therapists, we've got groups that they can take part in sessions. But one of my key activities is music for wellbeing. So we help them produce music, videos, learn instruments, and anything we can do just to make the power of music help.
Yeah, there's been a lot of controversy in that this building, this organisation just recently, you know, we're sad to see that some of our bossman community members that I once had a lot of love and respect for, absolutely diminished the love and respect that I had for him. And the reason being is that when we've tried to engage with them and facilitate certain things that the community needs, they have not been forthcoming. I know they've been under a lot of pressure and been under investigation by the Charities Commission, you know, but if what it says on the tin is what's going on inside the building, then there'll be no problem. But obviously if people leave room for people to take shots at them, and then it's bound to happen, you know. I had a lot of love for Hartley. I grew up with him in the hideaway, you know, and I'm just sorry to see that he's not really pulled his weight as he should have. You know, we hope the future of the Windrush Centre will be able to live up to the attributes of those people who bear the Windrush on their shoulder, the Windrush generation. It would be an insult for them to put the name of them there, the boat they came on, the Windrush. It's an insult to them to have this facility here within this black community here not doing what it's supposed to be doing. But so I hope that the people will come.
I don't cut your mega, what is this place doing for the Windrush society really? Like for the Windrush people, the people who got caught in the Windrush.
Apparently there was a little something done here, wasn't it?
They were holding clinics and supporting people with their claims and
I know, but there was only 2 people got claimed since all this thing gone. Wow. Only 2 people got claimed, so I don't see. This is what I was asking, like, who is representing these people? A couple of people has come back, but claim-wise, people haven't got the claim.
Well, there's a lot of questions that need answering there, bro, and they will be answered, you know what I mean, or maybe not. But what we will...
Honestly, I'm kind of limited as well, because I'm just a tenant on the place, so the landlord and the management isn't really my speciality, and it's about delivering what I can for me, so I'll keep up that side, brother.
Yeah, man.
We'll see you soon.
Look after yourself, brother,
Simpson.
All the best,
Positive
brother.
vibrations.
Yeah, man, every time.
Yeah, bro, you know, but as I said, you know, what you said there is true, and like, you know, if you want to represent something, do it, and do it by all. Don't say you represent this and you don't represent it. You're kidding yourself. because we've been here a long time. We've been suffering for a long time. Since 1981 when the riots took place in this community. Before then there was no facilities for us. Now we have all the facilities and we're still in the same position. How come?
So all this place has been built on the basis that it should be helping the black community to open businesses
Absolutely that.
and make things a lot easier.
Absolutely that. And all you have to do, blacks, to verify that is go on Company's House, put in the Moss Island Hume Community Development Trust, and look at their governing document and what it says on there. And when I read it, I was going to cry. I felt like crying when I read it. They said to relieve the area from poverty, to be given buildings and facilities to be able to do that, to be able to create business, local business, and help the community grow, help the economics of the community, help the economy of the community.
That's what it says.
So it have its own internal economy. But unfortunately, when somebody hasn't got no money in their pocket, they've got all the beautiful aspirations that the community needs at their heart. But you show them a little bit of money, and then you're going to see what their true intention is. Is money's going to sway you away from what you intended to do in the first place, then really your intentions probably weren't.
I know, but look at all this
Sincere.
though. What, I don't understand none
Look
of
at
it.
the place, it's Friday, there's nothing going on in here, bro.
But yes, it's
Absolutely
supposed to be run and owned by the black community.
Well,
yeah.
as you can see here, there's not very much going on here, and I don't see many black faces around here, apart from you, myself, and Brother Sefton.
You
can probably look at the rest of the units, like we've just seen a white lady. Not that white people, I'm not.
No, it doesn't matter. We
grew with them. This community is for them as well. These facilities are for them.
It's multicultural.
It's multicultural. We've always grown up like that. We grew up. White people have never been a race relation in this community between blacks and whites. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is this is the African, if you look on the governing document, it says, to uplift the people of this community who were mainly West Indian, African origin, and those are the people who were suffering at the time. So it was based around the West Indian and African culture community. But as you can see here, most of our people, if you was to take a look at one of the application forms to acquire one of these units, you would see that it was assembled. If you look on the governing document, it says, to uplift the people of this community who were mainly West Indian, African origin, and those are the people who were suffering at the time. So it was based around the West Indian and African culture community. But as you can see here, most of our people, if you was to take a look at one of the application forms to acquire one of these units, you would see that it was assembled to make sure that nobody in this community would be able to qualify to be in one of these units.
That don't make sense, but it's fun.
I could probably get an office in town quicker than I get an office right here.
How does that make sense?
It doesn't make no sense, because this was supposed to make ease for us, because the hardships back then in the 80s was they wouldn't accept us in town. They didn't want black people in town, they didn't want black music in town even. There was a man that came from Libya, was the first man to play black music in the town centre. Well, prior to maybe a few reggae dances that we had going on. Here's a sister over here. Come and have your time. Yes, we can. Come on. What are you doing? Smoking. Come on,
See,
look at me.
no, I put that on it, they should have had a funny. Yeah, this is all for the community that's setting it, but I don't know what's going on. Yeah, so